Y'all don't have to stand out there. You can come in where I can talk to you.
Okay. How long you been doing this?
65 years.
65 years.
Yes, sir. I'm an old guy.
Yeah, I can tell you're old.
I'm the master.
What got you into doing that? Another old guy, right?
When no, actually, I was walking home from from, I guess, middle school in Williamsburg. And I walked by the blacksmith shop and they said, "Hey kid, you want to be a blacksmith?" And kids don't have much sense. So I said, "Yes, sir." They invited me in. First thing they did, they showed me how to work the bellows. Next thing they showed me how to do was keep the fire going. Next thing they showed me was how to hammer, and the tongs they gave me were so big with this little pieces of metal they had that it was hard for me to hold it, put it in the fire. So you learn to put it in the fire and then go after it gets red hot.
So this was actually your way of living for all these years?
No.
Or just a side, it was a hobby?
I was a telephone man for 15 years, a lineman.
Right, that's a good job.
Then I was with the United States Army for 9 years. Then I was bought my own business for about 40 some years in Vienna, Virginia. As I had a lawnmower shop and sales and service.
Okay.
And in between of all that, I taught blacksmithing, what little I knew, to people who were interested in. It wound up at my shop in Vienna, where I was doing lawnmower work. I had about 8 blacksmiths learning blacksmithing. And I had 4 or 5 forges set up out back. Don't ask me why. In those days, finding a forge wasn't a big deal. So I had plenty of forges, plenty of anvils, plenty of hammers, plenty of tongs that you make yourself, like these. And you can get the commercial kind, but they're so expensive. So anyhow, little by little, we got a gang of us together, and they wanted to form a guild, and I didn't want to form a guild, so they made me president. For the first 5 years, I put it all together. The BGOP, Blacksmith Guild of the Potomac. Come in, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all can come over here. You're not going to get burned or hurt. You can just come in. I'm just starting the fire. I got to wait till the fire gets really nice. You got any questions?
What are you cooking?
What am I making?
Yeah.
I'm going to make some nails. But before I do that, I'll make something to show you what we do here usually when I'm dealing with the public. You just take a piece of iron rod like this and you stick it in the fire like this. You go down and very carefully go through the wall of the fire that's in there, and then you turn the blower here. You can hear the air coming through the fire, so you know your fire is in good condition down below. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
That's a nice fire. It means the coal isn't packed so tight together that the air can't get through. This is my coal storage right here. This is the chimney, and it has a smoke shelf right here. And that's what makes it draw so good. The fire comes up and goes right over to the chimney. The The reason you don't have it in the fire is because you're working outside all the time with metal. See how fast it gets hot?
That's a little hot.
A little hot. Yeah, a little hot. This is a hammer a friend made me many years ago. He even spelled my name wrong.
Now, are these a nail? Are you just pounding steel on this one to show us?
I'm not making a nail right
You're not
now.
making a nail yet.
No,
You're just showing them how to.
I'm showing y'all how to make a leaf for a decoration on a key fob that we give away to the children. Now that's the beginning of a leaf.
When you do make nails, how long does it take to make a dozen nails? Is it
Well,
from start to finish? It takes quite a bit of time, doesn't it?
normally you can make a nail in about 3 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, you can learn to make nails 6 in a minute. The thing is, you got to have everything together. There's a nail header. It's called a nail header, and you need that to set the shoulders on the nail. Now, it's supposed to be one hanging. There's a bolt header over there. There's supposed to be one here somewhere. Let me get this out of the way here.
I worked in a machine shop for about 1 month, and I don't think there's anything that's less than 100 pounds in a machine shop. I don't think you got anything light in here either, do you?
No, sir. I'm just. There's supposed to be a nail header in here somewhere. You know, everything is heavy. You hide all your tools, and then they disappear. Well, I don't see it. And I thought we had one here, so I didn't bring mine. I don't know if there's one in here. It's a twisting a tool. This is a forming a circle tool. You never have enough files. This is beeswax. You use that for coating the metal after you finished it so it doesn't rust on you. I mean, I get to make some nails today.
What does it look like?
What, honey?
What does the nail thing look like?
It's got a circle on the end with a hole in it.
Kind of like this, right?
Yes, that's a bolt header.
Well, a smaller
For a
version of
big
that.
bolt. There's another header over there, but this is supposed to be hanging here somewhere. And
How you gonna make your nails today if you don't have that?
well,
Is it one of these?
no, those are punches. This is a twisting iron. These are all different little tools, but none of them are big enough or heavy enough to be. You could use this, but you don't want to ruin that trying to make a nail on it. The nail has got a special shape so that you can form the head real easy. But anyhow, back to the story, what we're doing.
where you started in Williamsburg when you were a kid. You lived up there by William and Mary then?
Oh yes, I knew all the professors and all their children in those days, back in the 30s and 40s.
I think I'm 54. My daughter's 13. I was her age when I went. I think it was maybe a little younger. It was 1976 actually. We went the
Oh, you
bicentennial.
went to Centennial year.
Yeah, because I still have the little glass thing from the glass place. But I remember seeing the Blacksmith in there back then. That was a long time ago. And
The Grouse House was actually at Jamestown.
Right, exactly. We did
And then Yorktown had the bicentennial of the surrender of Lord Cornwallis. Did you go there?
We took the field trips up there and
Oh,
did
you
all that
did?
stuff. Yeah.
Good for you. That was one of my most exciting days. I was just getting back into blacksmithing when they had that. I'm putting a stem on it. Now, if I'd have had an apprentice here, I would have had him polish all that. Because you can see it's all rusty from the sitting all winter, not being used.
Was this your first day back in?
Yes, sir.
Is it really? We got you at a good time then.
Oh, yes. Well, I came to also, here it is. There's a header. See, I knew there was one around here.
I got you.
Now, that's a little small, but I can make it work. Because I don't care how big the nail is, the head is what I'm interested in. But that's called a nail header, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
So you got a couple of them up there actually by the wheel.
Uh-huh. Sure do.
Yeah, we didn't know what it looked like. I didn't notice it till you caught it.
Yes, sir.
It was like the
I thought
proverbial
we had some,
stepping
but-
on the snake in front of you kind of thing. If it was a snake, it would have bit you, right?
That's right. The harder the metal, the easier it is to work for me.
The hotter is easier, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's the beginning of your leaf.
It's a lot of work to make something out of steel or iron. People take it for granted. They drive around in cars made out of sheet metal, so precise and thin. And
Yeah, and if you look at it now, they've already switched to nylon mixed with plastic. Pretty soon you won't have any metal fenders. And the frames are going to be aluminum, so they're not very hard. Now you keep shaping this until you get it the shape you want. Now, if I had a bunch of kids here and I was making them, I would just stop right there. But I'm not in a hurry, so we'll forge it out a little bit bigger.
You know how long he's been doing this stuff for? You missed that part. Tell him how long you've been doing this for.
65 years.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Now we'll put some veins in it. Y'all know what veins are on a leaf, right?
Mm-hmm.
We make our tools out of rebar just because it's a good tool steel. But not all rebar is good tool steel. This just happens to be good tool steel that we have here. I'm putting the center vein in first. Now we put the curved vein in. There you can see
Wow.
the leaf, what it looks like. Now, I was sawing this off, which is a leaf tool that you use to make leaves, shape them, so they have some depth. Blacksmithing uses every tool in the world, because every shape of metal requires a different size set of tongs and stuff like that. Now, this is a piece of chestnut. That's the same logs that you see in the shop here are chestnut logs. The trees are no more because the bugs came and ate them from Japan.
What's the relevance of chestnut for the log cabinets? Bug resistant,
Yes, sir.
like cedar.
Cedar is also, but cedar doesn't grow big enough fast enough. That's a slow growth tree. Where chestnuts, these chestnuts could grow 40 feet in 5 years,
Really?
depending, and they grew around riverbanks. And then, of course, the whole mountain used to be a stand.
So they were pretty prolific
of
around
trees,
here.
Yes, very, because they grew easy and they trapped the water and they held the water and they grew faster. The more water they had, the faster they grew. And they actually, well, you see how big the logs are. If you can imagine slicing those into boards, they made wonderful furniture, walls in houses, panels, where they had to make the panels together and then fit them all together to make you a wall, where now they just make it all out of sheetrock. All that stuff is, just, you learn it. Now what I'm doing now is I'm shaping the center of the leaf.
Why do you use the chestnut for that?
Just because I had it.
Oh, it's the scrap. Any wood would work with that.
Any wood on end grain, as you can see, would work. You can see the imprint
Pretty,
in
yeah.
there.
More resistant to impact.
Yes, but then so is this white oak. I mean, I could take and do this, the same thing on the end of that rod,
Right.
you see.
Or cherry or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just, if it's oak or hardwood, we use it for various things. It's real popular. And then you see you have a little shape to your leaf. Now I gotta
That's
work
pretty
on it.
cool. Wow.
Now you could make a spoon out of that, or you could just make a leaf out of
Pretty
it.
impressive.
And then we cut it off and make the stem. This is the old way to do it. We could saw it off, but it's so much easier to do this. Now you have a broken limb. And now you get your favorite pair of tongs that you want to use to hold that. And you stick it back in the fire, and now we're going to draw out the stem. And this is ready to go again. See, there's a leaf on the other end, just to show people. Now, if you don't tend your fire carefully, it wants to go die on you because there's nothing to support it, no air going through if I'm not cranking. But it doesn't take long to catch up. So I can come over and talk to y'all, do things, show you the stuff. Normally we'd have more than one piece in the fire at a time. I prefer to work like this so that you can get to see the whole operation. If we were doing this in 10 minutes, which we normally do for the kids, it goes a lot faster. You can see how fast the metal moves, drawing it out.
You ever mix the metals?
Mix them.
Add other metals to the metal.
Oh, yeah, we can do that, but I don't do it here because it requires so much heat. It's called Damascus. And it's two dissimilar metals. One is steel or a white metal, stainless, something like that, or wrought iron, and you heat them both up to extreme temperatures of 25, 26, 2700 degrees.